Good day, everyone. I would like to welcome you back to the Bloody Fork Homestead. Today I've got something on my mind, and it's one of the things that bothers me in this whole area of gardening. And that is, for many people, it's more about symbolism than it is substance. Now, what I'm talking about, symbolism, are things that make you feel good, or things that you do that look perfect, when that takes precedence over production, of actually producing a lot of good things from the garden. Symbolism over substance, when how your raised bed looks perfect, how that is the most important thing. Now, the reason I say that is because I see some that's advertised, some raised beds, and they're modular units, and they're slick, they look good, but they start at cost for one particular company, it's $399. But then it's another $56 to ship it to you. And that's for a small modular unit raised bed. And there's recommended soil to put in that bed. And that'll cost to use in that raised bed will cost $256. And then you need to have an irrigation system for it. And you have one raised bed. What do you do with it? You have a raised bed that maybe you can put 6 to 8 peppers in, and you can spend $800+ on a raised bed that may give you some peppers, good-looking peppers, at the end of the year. But how much did you spend for those peppers? Symbolism over substance. It looks good. It may make you feel good. You may feel like you're beating inflation and that you're feeding the world. But I got news for you, folks. You're not doing it. You're wasting a lot of money, as far as I'm concerned. What can you do with $600, $800? You can send that money to a farmer in Africa, and he can plant his whole crop, or start a goat herd, or raise some chickens with $600 or $800. Come on now. It's symbolism over substance. The most important thing is production. Now think about it. There's a parable that we read in the Bible that Jesus gives us of the soils. And many of you are familiar with the parable. There's a sower that goes out to sow. There's the seed. Some of the seed falls on the path, and the birds come and eat it up. That seed doesn't do anything. There's some seed that falls on the rocky soil, and because it doesn't have the depth of soil, it fades out after a while. The sun, the heat gets to it, and of course it meets its demise. Some seed is choked out, the plants are choked out by thorns, the worries and concerns of the world. But there's some seed that falls on the good soil. And the good soil varies. It produces 30, 60, 100-fold. Of course, what Jesus was teaching was about our receptivity to the Word of God. The gospel, when it goes forward, some it gets choked out and it gets taken away, and some are receptive. And it produces various kinds of fruit, 30, 60, and 100-fold. But using it again, thinking of garden, what's the most important thing in gardening? Having good soil. Having good soil to produce a lot of produce, a lot of fruit, a lot of things that we're trying to bring about by planting seeds. That's the most important thing. Not symbolism, not how it looks necessarily, or how it makes you feel. You may feel real good about your raised bed. You may be proud of that sucker, and you should be if you spend $600 or $800 for it. But come on, You're not going to feed your family from that one little raised bed. You're not going to feed the world. You're not going to beat inflation. It's all symbolism over substance. If we're going to make a difference with what we grow, we have to be concerned about production. You have to be concerned about your soil, how good your soil is, how you're building your soil up. You can't keep improving the soil by using synthetic fertilizers, herbicides, insecticides, all the things that we use in our modern farming techniques. But we have to be concerned about soil and how that soil is producing. We have to feed the soil. We have to add organic matter to the soil so that the soil becomes more productive. Production, that's where it's at. And in order to have continuing production, we have to continually feed the soil. I hope you're doing that in your gardening. I hope your gardening is more about substance than it is symbolism. How things look. How is it producing? Your garden needs to produce something, especially in our day when things are out of whack and inflation has hit us. We need to be able to produce a lot in our gardens. And the good thing is, many YouTube channels today, people produce. They produce a lot of good things from their land. And you can do that too. Let me encourage you. Think about production. That's the most important thing. Thank you very much.